Boom. Welcome to Plot Point. Tonight we're having a Cold War in Hell, and what some of you... Oh my gosh! I feel like somebody's been abducted as I sit here and look out. Who is that? This non-kitty person. It looks familiar. It might be... Oh, it might be a guest star. We might have Doggy Bread here tonight. You know, tonight... It is Doggy Bread. I recognize the voice. Doggy Bread, your lips don't move, though.
That's okay. They're meant to do that.
What did you do with Kitty Dough, Doggy Bread?
I am Kitty, though. I don't know what you're talking about. Any relations to Doggy Bread are entirely coincidental.
Oh. Have you found any pennies lately?
Not ones that are upside right. That's
sad.
They make me sad, yes.
Well, I don't know. Oh, look! Kitty Dough is back!
It's fine.
It's April
That thing
1st.
keeps showing up out of, like, everywhere. I don't know what it is about today, man.
And we wish you all a happy April 1st. April Fool's Day. No joke, we are missing both Remy's player and Nerada's player tonight. So we're going to do something special for all of you who tuned in to join us tonight. And that's we're going to do a one-shot on the fly, old school fashion, which I do. A few of our viewers have said before they like it. So let's start off with a real quick welcome. And I'm going to start with Colton. You've got a welcome and then pick your vet.
Hey everybody, thanks for showing up. I'm really excited to be able to put this on or do this with everybody. Be fun. Kitty.
Hi, Kitty Doe. Here to just enjoy a one-shot. I find they're normally the most enjoyable things in the world, if only for the fact that I'm playing something that I'm not entirely prepared for and I'm gonna wing it. Going over to Start to the Sea.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, it doesn't start with a C, Dan.
Just
I
go
got
with
there.
Spooks. It's cool. I'm all right with that. Yeah.
Spooks.
Yeah. Oh wait. Sorry. Let me. Oh, I didn't see you there. I'm so happy to join you in this wonderful event of improv we're going to be taking a part of.
I'm very excited.
Oh, I love it. I have some of the... I've always said it, and I still mean it. I have some of the best players on the internet with me at my table. I am so blessed. I know my sound is going out all good, so we're good there. Just making sure. So, let's kick right into it. And because it's a one-shot, you know we got tropey and we got to have puns, so... It's a stormy afternoon. We don't want to go with a night. It's a stormy afternoon here in the Wall, the mountain range, but more importantly, outside the tavern, the Wall, which recently had a whole corner of the building ripped off and shattered, rubble still on the ground, as the rain has now started pouring down, getting faster and faster, to the point that the water is coming all the way from the north. Thank you. So, that was my magic imp that you saw reaching through the world to bring me my hot tea, and true joy. Now, if you don't have your own magic imp, I suggest you get the spell. They're very good because imps are one of the only familiars that have thumbs. So saying, the water is rushing down from the north. It's getting higher and higher, literally to the point that it's raining cats and dogs because the water has nowhere to go as it comes down off of these high mountain peaks because the wall is built. You can see it behind my head. I'll dodge to the right. The wall is built as that road passes through the mountains, an almost straight 10-mile line road. Where does the water go? It floods through to the lowest area. They don't have sewers here. But unfortunately, the animals that are smaller are lifted up. And you know, as these animals are being washed through, one man is standing there in red hair, picking up the animals, looking at them for a moment, maybe giving them a little kiss, and then putting them back in the water and washing as they float on by. The very next animal that is picked up, what type of animal is it, Colton?
It's a dog.
What does the dog look like, Colton?
It's like a basset hound.
And as this man picks up this basset hound and looks into it, what do you do?
Nothing. I don't do anything. I just go and look at him.
You stare at him coldly as he says, "Nope, not this one," drops you back in the water and you float on by. A moment later, another animal, he wades out into the water, comes floating along. I'm not sure if it's floating on something else or just on its own. You tell me, Dan.
Ooh. We'll go with the jackalope.
A jackalope wading through the water, kind of big, these huge horns sticking out of its head. What do you do as this man starts approaching you?
Wriggle a lot.
You start wriggling through the water. He tries grabbing onto you, and you end up pulling him a little bit, but he decides that definitely you're not the one. You're able to wriggle away from him off to the other side. What do you do once you get this solid footing?
I guess make sure my horns don't get stuck in anything, my antlers. I want to just keep watching. I'm a little curious as to what's going on here with the man abducting animals out of a river.
You hear that strange man who's yelling from upriver, upstream where he's going, "Oh no, my jackalope!" And he's splashing through the water trying to capture you once more. You remember that you've been owned by him. Do you choose to go back to him, or do you choose to get away from him?
I think I'm gonna run. It's Bolton time.
You bolt down after the dog. Moments later, this man, still sad that he hasn't found what he's looking for, grabs another animal. And this one, Kitty, is...
It is an alligator. Just a mini one.
My. When players try to outdo each other, this man grabs an alligator. What do you do? It's this redhead. What part of the alligator does he grab?
Well, it's a mini one, so you can grab it up by the shoulders.
Oh, okay. So, like a big dog, he grabs it up around the shoulders, this alligator, and using his mighty strength, he's unable to pull it out of the water because I don't think Huxley is that strong, is he?
No, he is. He's got a 15.
Oh, okay. So
Pretty
Huxley
strong.
pulls up this alligator, looks at it, and remembers something that his mama always told him about alligators. What was it?
Alligators like to smile at you, Huxley, but that does not mean you should grab them.
Remembering what his mama said quickly before the alligator can snap him, Huxley lets go, dropping the alligator back in. What do you do, alligator kitty? Kitty gator?
I'm gonna keep following the water on down.
Swimming quickly, you see some food ahead. It is a dog swimming ahead of you, big ears floating in the water. When was the last time you ate, kitty?
I don't know. There was like a few cats upstream that I ate earlier. But it's fine.
You might have made kitty dough out of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we're just gonna creep up on this non-suspecting dog.
You start swimming up closer on the dog. Go ahead and make a perception roll for me, Clack. Or, what is your name? What do you call yourself, dog?
I am Bark.
Bark. Okay. Bark. Something, a log or something is swimming through the rain. It's kind of hard to see, but it appears to be closing faster than the water. And then you realize, oh yes, it's definitely not a piece of wood or whatnot. This is moving. So unless wood starts moving, yeah, something is swimming towards you. Maybe it's a big cat. Maybe it's another dog. You can't quite tell because of the heavy downpour. But it's definitely alive and it's definitely coming for you.
Did I see the big rabbit?
You did see the big rabbit. It floated by just a minute ago.
I'm going to chase after the rabbit.
Ah! Splashing after it and whatnot, you realize that, this big rabbit has gotten itself to the side. And this rabbit is massive and the ears don't twitch at all. And Jackalope, what do we call you?
Brutus Don Varsuvius.
Brutus. I love it. Brutus, this dog is swimming out of the water at you, and you have a higher perspective, and you're able to see immediately that it's being chased by something. Oh no, something with big, sharp, pointy teeth. You have automatic advantage on recognizing predators who are coming for you. And you see this alligator swimming towards you and this dog that has swum up next to you. What do?
You there, peasant mount, dog breed. It looks like you have a lizard following you.
And thanks to all the magic of being animals in the land, you can all understand one another.
I think it's a stick. It's coming right for me.
Well, I don't think that's a stick you should be chasing. Get out of the water, Mount.
You begin to see all the teeth opening up as this jaw gets closer and closer to you.
It's definitely a stick with teeth.
Well, get out of the water, Mount.
I'll try to crawl up onto the drier land. Why does it always have to happen to me? My ears are all wet.
Now, you're out
The
of the water.
alligator backs off a little. I'm sorry that your ears are wet. I don't have any ears. I just have little holes. Have you considered renovating?
I just keep falling over them. I don't know what to do.
You just gotta go with the flow wherever the river leads you, you know?
You mean this? I got sucked into it and I'm so tired of
Yeah, this river didn't
falling.
even exist yesterday, man. Like before, I was just in the sewer, but then the waters rose and I just rode the river out here.
What's yesterday?
Pretty sure. The day that was yester.
Tripping over your own ears? I'd say I don't think you'd make for a very good mount there, Mount.
I don't think I'd make a very good anything.
Why would he make a good mountain?
It's not about mountains, it's about Mount. It's the
Yeah.
noble heritage that is within me that grants me the ability to ride upon other creatures.
Oh, you're one of those animals. You know, the last
Yes,
animals
majestic.
like that were the apes, and now they became humans, and they've been jerks to the rest of the animal kingdom ever since.
Humans? What are you talking about? I am
The
no
apes
human.
that were. And
I am a
they
mighty
thought to
jackalope.
themselves that they would ride on animals, and now they've been on their high horses ever since.
Well, that's where they went wrong, picking horses as mounts. Whereas I see Mount 1 and Mount 2. One of them's leathery, the other's furry. One's better in the winter.
Huh.
Are you talking about, like, the gods?
All
No,
right,
Cujo.
slow down.
No.
They feed me, they take care of me, they hold me, they keep me warm.
What are your guys' names?
Oh, I'm Bark.
It's good to
Brutus
meet you,
Don
Bart.
Vesuvius.
Good to meet you, Lucas.
Yes, that's fine. Whatever. All right, well, come on, out of the water. We should probably get away from the red-haired man. I think he's probably going to come downstream. He's a little crazy.
As you're talking about the red-haired man, it's not him that you need to worry about. It actually turns out that it's Brutus's former owner that is coming down, splashing after him, still yelling about his jackalope. And as Brutus
that too.
is focused so much on the red man, he doesn't realize, as all of you are talking, this net that flies over you all. I would like you all to make a very quick, dodge roll. We want to dodge. Yeah, go ahead and use your acrobatics. Let's see what you can't do.
Acrobatics.
Oh my, I'm not seeing terrific rolls here, people. This is not...
We're getting average.
Well, you do have plot points that you can use, should it come down to it. The players
Good
are allowed
point.
to use whatever they would like from their other life. All right, so Brutus and Bark.
Can I add? This is the point where we add plot points, right?
Before I describe the
Fantastic.
results, yeah.
Okay. Can I add 10 total, 5 apiece between myself and the alligator?
You absolutely can.
Okay, I will do that.
So we will deduct 10 off of your total. And we want to remind our viewers, anybody watching tonight, you can always buy some plot points, put them right in there. You don't even have to spend money. You can spend your channel points. You can affect the game. Don't forget that wild magic is real. Wild magic will be a part of the game, as well as many other things. You can create disadvantage on me as the DM. You can, just hammer me left and right. But whatever you like. Brutus, you and
Yes.
Bark are able to dodge. Or, I'm sorry, you and what do we call the alligator?
Oh, well, I let other people name me, and the humans tend to call me Ah.
Ah, okay. Give me 1 second.
Spark
here.
and Aahhhhh.
I'm wondering if that's the last sound they say as they die, or if it's
You know, I don't consider it death. I just consider it a movement in the way in which they see the world.
I'm loving it. I'm moving in the way in which you see the world for the last time. Oh. Okay, so we have Brutus, and Bark. All of you are able to dodge the net because he was slowed down by the water and whatnot. Do you scatter or do you stay together? How do you get away as you're in this, again, long road, mountains to both sides, literally cliff faces that at some point as you guys are dodging along, you notice that there's this set of individuals, somebody who's running along the back, runs over to a corral where some cows are. Some other people appear to be dodging out of a building. What do?
Mount 1, Mount 2, come along, let's go. It's time to leave.
You could dodge
I'm
through
coming.
that broken building and jump into that tavern.
The tavern does look warm.
I
Yeah,
could
boy,
use
come on.
being dried off for sure.
Let's go to
Let's
the
go.
tavern. There's always a delicious mouse or two.
Hop along, come on.
Yes, we will start moving to the tavern.
Moments later, it's easy for Brutus, who has leaping and bounding advantage. He bounds through this open wall that was shattered open by a cow. The the alligator is a little bit slower as he has very short legs. And this basset hound dragging his ears can get up there scrambling over some old rocks. And you find yourself wet, but in a dry environment. Inside, you can see, amidst a shattered table that's still on the ground, this individual who's over at the bar, this man with one eye patch over his thing, talking to a cloaked figure who's whispering to them inside. Some individuals from the back are there when suddenly somebody calls Ah's name. You hear, Ah! And
My
these
people
individuals
know
from
me.
the back room
They know
seem
you
to have
here.
noticed your arrival.
I would like a scotch. Maybe something to puff.
Come on now, Slow Mount. We got to keep moving here. I don't think they like you very much.
They love me. That's why they call my name.
Yeah, why
All
would
right.
they know who she is? As I trip like over one of my ears into the tavern.
Well, obviously, Sad Mount, it's because she's infamous.
As you guys get in,
Let's keep going.
some of the customers turn to the back. The individual who's cloaked at the bar turns around, and you could just hear them as they were saying, look, you can't trust him. I'm telling you, all he does is bring evil everywhere that he goes. And then he turns around, seeing this group come in, and very quickly looks around, wide-eyed, and dodges away. And all you caught between the shadows were eyes sort of appearing. You couldn't tell who exactly it was or anything, but all these humans kind of look the same. They're all grabby and whatnot. They're either screaming or they're grabbing or they're chasing. And this individual dives towards the back room, starts banging on a back door as if trying to get in, but the door appears to be locked and whatnot. Other individuals have cowered to the back. The man, though, with the eye patch comes out from behind the bar and he says, "Oh, I'll be having none of this in my shop." And you see him pull out a mace from his side. And you notice that the end of the mace has a large blade on the bottom of it, this custom weapon that he wields. He's like, "Not in my shop. Get out of here now." And he starts moving aggressively towards the three of you. What will you do?
Well, Mounts, we can't go back. Let's go through the kitchen.
Pup, lay down in front of him and trip him.
Okay, I'll try my best. I'll go up to please, and lay over like I want tummy rubs.
Oh, make a persuasion roll. Tummy rubs.
Remarkable. They all seem to be staring at him.
I'm trying to find where I
Oh
have
no!
It looks like I'm getting eaten by that crocodile.
So
Oh,
you
God.
go over,
Wait,
roll
what?
over,
Ooh.
and other than the fact that this man glances and then steps over you, realizing you're not a wild beast, clearly you're easy. You're looking for tummy rubs. He doesn't stop to pet your belly, though. Instead, he steps over you and aggressively see this alligator and this large horned jackalope, which could probably impale somebody with its horns, in there, starts motioning, but he doesn't appear to be trying to strike so much as he's trying to scare you off. Easily, Brutus, you could dodge around him with your abilities and stay inside the nice dry area, possibly going back towards the other individuals in the back, or possibly what might you like to do?
Well, the only thing that I can think of is in this establishment made by humans, possibly we might be able to get outside to the back. So let's go. Sad mount off the floor. Let's go.
I guess these aren't the kind that want me.
His frown drooping as low as his ears that drag along the ground. You've just made it over the rocks. You're seeing this. Brutus, did you bound out? You've called out to Sad Mount, but what are you actually doing to dodge being hit by this angry proprietor?
The current plan is to dodge left, dodge right, dodge left again, and then keep dodging left, go around them, go over the bar, and then back into the kitchen. Follow me, mounts.
As you do this, you come over the rocks and you see this man chasing this massive jackalope around the thing, and the jackalope is crashing into chairs, crashing into tables. People have hunkered down in the back corners as far away as this wild animal is bouncing and bounding all over. And again, there's still some blood on the floor. It appears like something died here recently. You go crashing through, but Brutus, using your nose, you see an open door to the back. And there's this body lying on a couch nearby. Humans are asleep everywhere, it seems. But that open door to the back has all the smells of human cooking, which isn't particularly appealing to you, but you do know it's a kitchen. So it's easy to bound back there. Bark. It's easy for you to follow him if you desire. It appears that your new friends have left you just as quickly. With your short little legs, you've gotten over this rocky, knockdown wall, and this man is chasing others. There's people there. Nobody's brought you scotch though.
I guess I will go to the back with my friends. Maybe there'll be something fun to smoke back there.
These two bark. You follow the bounding Brutus into the kitchen. This angry proprietor chasing you, and tailing the angry proprietor, this smiling alligator. As you head into the kitchen, into this closed environment, Brutus and Bark. Brutus, you're in a locked room. You're suddenly feeling claustrophobic. I need you to make a wisdom check for me, please, to see if you become frightened by this enclosed space that you've entered into.
A wisdom check. Let's do a test.
At least we're out of the river, but I'm still cold. Why are we here?
We're here because this is where life brought us.
Oh.
Certainly, and we're looking for an exit, an exit, an exit.
Bark, you notice an exit immediately. There's a door ajar at the back, and there's the smell of what smells like meat coming from beyond it with your keen basset hound smell. Smeller.
I'm hungry. You guys hungry? I can smell food. I think they put food out for me. They are going to have me here. And I'll run towards where the food is.
Bark's able to nudge open the door, which gives Brutus an exit. And just as you two go out the door, and the proprietor is so happy that he's finally gotten them out, he turns around and he's looking face to face with this alligator, which is speaking at that time by snapping its jaws, giving the others wisdom. What do you do as this guy looks at you and you have a surprise round? He didn't expect you to be behind him. You're now on flat ground. It's easier for you to move.
Gonna go right between his feet and really freak him out.
As a small creature, you're able to move through his space easily. You shoot a straight line right through his feet, getting up on all fours, and you dodge for this door. A moment later, as you do so, the door slams shut behind you. The three of you are now in the alley between this building and the next. It appears to be some sort of butchery nearby, or that you're in, where they have some of the meat and whatnot. And you notice there's this massive cow hanging up. And this, I would like each of you to make a perception roll for me, please.
Fantastic show, Mounts. We managed to make it outside.
I can smell the food, but I can't
Athos.
see where it is.
I don't see...
I thought it was just the two of them.
Oh, no, it's everybody.
Okay.
Sweet. So, with this meat overwhelming your senses and whatnot, it's definitely not a place that Brutus likes. I mean, fresh meat usually means somebody's dying, and sure enough, there's a cow carcass here that's still dripping down blood and whatnot, and it appears that somebody has angrily taken the head from this cow and whatnot. In fact, the cow head is sitting over nearby. Seems like a great place to be. It's like the feast is on. And Bark, I don't know how much you're in for the raw food here. There's some spices, some good stuff, and you could definitely eat it. But Brutus, no, there's no... In fact, yeah, this doesn't look like anything that you would want to eat.
All right, Mounds, have fun with your food. Barbarians.
The river always provides a way. She's gonna take a chomp into the cow. The cow head, which I think is on the ground, right?
No, it was hanging down to drip, and whatnot.
Oh.
They've gutted it, but there's a leg
gonna try
low
and
enough
jump
that
up.
suddenly the alligator is like...
The alligator's trying to jump up and clap it.
Gets this leg, and all of a sudden the alligator's wrestling and ripping against this leg, snapping the cow body back and forth. For a smaller alligator, they really know how to use their weight to rip until finally, after a minute or so, the alligator has ripped, chomped, broken part of this leg off from this cow and is busy chomping on it. Bark, what are you going after?
The gods get really mad when we do that. I think, where is my bowl? There's no food left out for me.
Don't pay it any... don't pay it any mind, Sad Mount. Just take it.
Just touch the river and eat some food.
Okay, but if they yell at me, will you help me?
I'll bite them.
I'll start licking up blood, I guess, off of the concrete.
You're licking up some blood. There is a bowl nearby with some entrails, some other stuff, things that maybe another creature might not like, but you know what? Probably tastes pretty tasty to a dog. Cause
they did set it out for me.
They
provided for us.
The three of you are all there. Brutus, you're looking down at Sad Mountain, this alligator who has quickly become your friend. You're all standing in the rain, and that's fine with most of you. You're pretty cool with that. When that net does come down on you, distracted and penned in by this alley, the net comes over the three of you, trying to catch the jackalope. It also catches Bark, who had his nose in a bowl, as well as Moments later, this gentleman who has captured Brutus before takes control of the three of you once more. You see this cat looking out from under a nearby building, saying, "Better you than me." And that's the last thing the cat says as it slinks to the back and whatnot. The three of you are captured once more, and this individual leads you out. Bark, hey, look, new owner. I mean, isn't that great? This guy might feed you more, although he did take you away from your bowl and whatnot. That man with the eye patch meets him out front, seems to be thanking him in that strange human speech that they use, but you can see some different things and some coins pass hands and whatnot. The humans continue to jibber jabber in their nonsensical way of communicating. If only they learned how to speak like the animals, it would be so much easier. But they don't.
Savages.
Yeah. Gosh, they're horrible. They go back and forth this little bit. And moments later, you realize there's an exchange happening. Clearly, he wanted them to capture you and whatnot. He's grateful. And you're led away. The alligator is tied up in a... He has a sack and whatnot, which leaves your head sticking out. He's able to wrestle you into there and whatnot. More animals continue to float down, some of which look tasty. Much smaller rabbits than this big jackalope. And as well as other dogs and cats. The man moves along the sides. And he's approached by another individual. This individual offers to purchase all of you. It's raining cats and dogs. There's all these different things. He seems particularly interested in and Brutus, but he's willing to take the lot of you, including Bark, for whatever means he has. The exchange takes place, and moments later you're being trucked off once more in the back of a wagon through the water over towards the other side of the wall where there are more buildings. And in this one building, he brings you in and then places you in what appears to be a box, closes the door, and minutes later in the dark you feel something jar underneath you. And it feels like gravity increases. and you're going up, up, up. A minute or two later, the doors open once more, but you're no longer there in this raining alley. Look, you are instead in a massive room. It's dry here. And there are strange symbols all over everything. Things perking away. You can hear the bubbling of what appears to be a wizard's environment. What do you do? What do you say as you look to each other? You're alone, again, having been pushed into this room. You're no longer in the net, and there doesn't appear to be anybody immediately visible in the room.
The river's never made me see a vision like this before.
Those honorless bastards! They'll release us! They'll release us as if it's the last thing I do!
We're all tied up with rope, right? Except for me, who has like a whole bag around the rest of my body, except for my head.
You are no longer in the net, but yes, you do have a rope that they led you in here with, and yes, you're in this bag to stop you wiggling loose. You would have to have somebody like Brutus or Bark help get you out.
Right, but Brutus and Bark, are they also tied up?
You're tied together by ropes, but they weren't worried about tying Bark and preventing him movement. It's like a lead rope, same way with Brutus.
Okay.
They just have lead ropes on them. You're the only one they're really worried about.
If you guys come over here, I could probably chew your legs. I mean, could chew the ropes off.
I don't think he wants me.
Of course the river wants you. The river wants us all.
I get tired in the water. I can't spend all my time there.
Well, there are these nice little areas that are elevated that normally the humans walk across to avoid the river. Suppose they don't like swimming in their own fecal.
We're not next to the river now. We're in some kind of jail, clearly.
Yes.
We need to
because
try
the
to
river-
escape from here.
Move yourself over to me and I'll bite the rope.
It's a little concerning to hear that from you, Special Mount.
Thanks.
Can I try my wonderful rodent teeth and try to bite through any ropes that I have around me?
Absolutely.
Can I not reach anything?
You can. The ropes, you can start gnawing on the ropes that connect you and Bark and whatnot to release you so that you could move independently of one another. You can't get the one off your neck. But possibly working together, maybe Bark could chew at that one. You could also work at Oz ropes, yes.
Okay.
Pointless. The gods are too strong. We have to just
The
stay
river
now.
current is strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strong? They're not strong. They're savages. They're nothing but a bunch of brutes.
The
Look at what
river
they
isn't a savage. You just don't understand.
We can talk about this more once the ropes are removed.
Okay.
It only takes a few minutes with your wild teeth to chomp through this. It didn't require sharpness, but it required something that was willing to rip Bark off, chew things down, and just, get savagely free. Moments later, while Bark has been released, Bark is still lethargic and whatnot. On the other hand, once released, what do you do, Do you bite this Brutus?
No. Is gonna start stretching out her tiny little legs, getting like some claws into the dirt again, or the metal, or the wood, I guess, because I don't really know what the cage is made out of.
It's not a cage. You came up in a room, the doors opened, and you opened into this laboratory of various beakers and things bubbling away, strange smells, human smells, but not human flesh. Humans like to mess with other things. There's bubbling.
You guys, am I the only one feeling snacky? I could really go for something to eat.
I didn't get to eat all the stuff they put out for me, and then they put me in here.
Doesn't that guy look delicious?
Which guy?
That wizard dude.
Gods above! Splay yourselves upon the floor. I'm going to investigate.
Okay.
Click, clack,
But I'm
click.
gonna investigate his ankles.
Click, clack, click, clack. Brutus walks into the room, and while none of you had seen somebody, it must have been Oz's extraordinary senses that noticed this cloaked figure across the room. You walk in, Brutus and Bark, not seeing the man at the far side, but Oz's eyes, used to seeing through this murky water and whatnot. She goes sailing across underneath the table, like in true lizard fashion, going over there. Moments later, Brutus, as you're walking around the room, your big antelope things, moving around, you bump a couple things on the ceiling and whatnot, and Bark, you're just kind of wandering in. Brutus,
There's
you knock
no
something
point.
down. The man turns just as gets a free attack on this man because he did not see you. Go ahead and roll with advantage on this attack.
Ooh.
You'll definitely be punished for that.
Yes, go, bite his legs off.
Moments later, you chomp right into his leg. Your teeth still somewhat bloody from the last piece of cow that you ate. As you chomp into this man's leg, he lets out a scream. The woman that was right in front of him, which was hanging by chains from the ceiling, she screams too as he starts screaming. Suddenly, Brutus and Bark, they're screaming everywhere. You can both take notice of this man at the far side of the room.
I would like to lockjaw onto this man.
It's an automatic. It is one of your abilities, and now you are locked on. Short of a pry bar or a spell, he will have a tough time getting you off. This bearded man with this big gray beard leaning down has a dagger in his hand and was clearly going to do something nefarious to this woman chained up.
Snacky!
Take him down, Mount! Take him down!
Gonna start trying to pull him underneath the small space of the table to like bash him.
I would like you to go ahead and make a grapple. It's going to be a strength. Make it athletics because you're using your whole body to try to knock him prone and then drag him away. In the meantime, I'd also like to know what Bark is doing and what Brutus is doing. Brutus, I know you're encouraging them. Is that you just want to be a cheering squad, the pair of you?
He's having a real good time watching this happen. But if the guy does fall on the floor, he will be taking advantage of that.
I've seen what happens after this. This doesn't end well. And I'll go cower in a corner.
There are dogs that bite their masters and never come back.
I never seen him again.
Odds above, Sadmount, take your power back!
Manages to get this guy off his legs and he's pulling back, but Oz doesn't have the physical size to truly pull him under the table. Will need help. But the man with the dagger in his hand sees this happening, sees the alligator ripping at him, his blade coming out, reaches down and strikes at this alligator. But the alligator is so used to flipping around, he's not used to it, and he totally misses, striking into the wood. Luckily, he just missed his own leg that the alligator was chomped onto. He doesn't seem to want to stab the alligator in the head for fear that he does stab his own leg. Brutus, it's an advantage on you if you would like to help or attack or go over to the woman. Perhaps you just want to knock some stuff down. There's all sorts of pretty colored liquids in here and whatnot.
Hold on, Mount, I'll save you! And I'm gonna try to hit him in the other leg. Knock him down on the floor.
You go over, bash with your horns at the other legs. Go ahead and make a melee attack with whatever your favorite weapon is.
I'm assuming antlers.
Yes, but whatever your favorite weapon is on your character sheet, you may use.
Let's see.
Gore.
Oh, I missed. That's for sure.
You do. You're actually able to bash at him and whatnot, and again, with D&D 5e, it's not whether you make contact to miss, it's just whether you do damage. So, you have failed to lower any of his combat points down, his hit points, and so he is, you're smacking on the ground, you're hitting this. In fact, with that roll, I want you to make another attack, and we're going to see if you hit your buddy in the process. It was low enough that I think that would just be cool.
Probably.
No, you don't. So a low roll here is good. You end up missing the thrashing Bark, you find this perfect spot to hide. It's not under the table that they were at. It's over in a corner right near this woman who appears to be thrashing hard against her chains and for lack of a better term, barking, shouting, chanting, whatever these humans are doing, it's just spouting out of her mouth. Vehemently, she throws herself back and forth, and you can hear these chains up at the top. Bark, go ahead and make a perception roll for me.
What do your basset hound eyes see?
Bark.
They see his nose.
And whatnot, and you realize she's been chained up here for some time. You can tell that she's been in this place. You notice that her arms are in place, but what you don't notice is how to get those chains off. You know that humans like these chains, and always they use these strange mechanical things to hold you in place. It's horrible when it happens. Obviously, she's never going to be able to get away till a human releases her. And that's
I don't
how you
know what
fall
she did to
forward.
anger this other god creature, but she must have been very bad.
Clearly, the wizard in the meantime, thrashing and trying to fight against the pair of you, suffers more damage from this alligator. Go ahead and roll a d6 for damage.
1d6.
The blood tastes
1d6.
incredibly sweet. Have you ever eaten human before?
Nah.
It's
Except for that one human that got flushed down that toilet.
Oh, a human flesh
Came
dog.
down in little parts, so like I got a sampling.
Oh, well, this is much fresher, much juicier than that last one. A little bit old. I mean, but you know, definitely juicier and whatnot. And it wriggles really nice, which you tend to, like in your food.
But I always prefer to take my snackies and drown them before I eat them, so it's sad. It's not full of water like I like.
You realize a human with a knife is probably a bad thing, but then he takes his other hand and he starts using that strange human speech. And I don't know if any of you have ever heard a human speaking in magic before. Have you?
Yeah, I did. And they didn't like it when I did this. And I'll like blink over towards them and like try to stomp them from casting magic.
In one moment, you're on top of this dog or this creature. The dog Bark appears on top of him, literally blinking out of existence, and poof, he appears on top of this wizard. Obviously, Bark has abilities you are not aware of. And when you do, what do you do when you're on top of him again?
No! And I'll try to use the god speak.
You start to use the God Speak, which comes out as this ferocious bark, like he's saying his name, right in his face and whatnot. And a moment later, the wizard who was trying to chant must make a concentration spell. Oh, he totally fails. Shocked by this dog that appears out of nowhere, he just yells back in human, which you guys can't understand, "Magic dog!" And he stops chanting the spell, reaches across, and tries for an immediate grapple with advantage on Bark, who's on top of him. Bark, go ahead and make a athletics roll to try to get away as he grapples you. Still giving a free opportunity attack to do more damage.
My God, Sadmount, you're incredible! Keep
my.
going!
Brutus, would you like to make this round of attacks too? Because he's using his to grapple Bark.
Certainly so. Let's get these antlers going. Come on.
Make your attack rolls.
All right. I'm pretty sure I can't shoot lasers from them, so I'm just going to try to skewer
Sure, you
them.
can. You're a sorcerer.
Oh, magic.
Very nice. You guys start bashing on this poor wizard who is now holding on to a successfully grappled dog on top of him. Oh, maybe he wants to be your master. I don't know. But in the meantime, your master is having his leg chewed off. So, I don't know how you take that one, Bark, and whatnot.
I'm gonna go full, like, try to cuddle again and just go right into trying to expose the belly.
Oh, my.
Perfect,
So
a
you-
distraction.
I love it. Yes, I love it. You are able to, show your belly to him, and he appears somewhat interested, but he's more interested in trying to get this thing off that's chewing on his leg and this other beast. And he says to his new magic dog, "Help me!" In the meantime, the dog, which is just showing his belly, which is obviously help enough for his new master, does nothing to really help. Brutus, you're able to smack him away, doing more damage, and he's now being clobbered over the head. And the man, half not wanting to, but half because the dog is in his hands, tries using the dog as a shield. I think it's more out of instinct to stop the antlers hitting him than it is to actually inflict damage on his dog. But, He's still being ripped at. And now you've gotten down to the bone. He's screaming madly. He can't even concentrate. He failed his concentration roll to try and cast spells while this alligator Aahhhh's ripping at his flesh. The woman, in the meantime, in her strange human garb, screams that it serves him right, but that means nothing to any of you who can't understand him. Serves you right. Try and sacrifice me, will you? In the meantime, this man screaming tries to get away, shaking the dog off. I need you to make an the alligator off. Athletics check, please. Do
we have our dice showing up on our screen? Because I don't see them.
You just rolled a 19, it says, on roll 20.
Yeah, I meant on stream.
Oh, I keep clicking back and forth as I'm doing different things.
Okay.
So yes, they were, and in this case I was turning it off, but I was also trying to add your names to the screen that we're on now, so... Oh, that's why I didn't transition it over. I apologize about that. Thank you. Take an extra plot point for that one. In fact, you don't get to do that. I have to do that now. That's right. One of the things we did by adding all the plot points to the screen was so that our viewers would know not only the plot points that you have, but hopefully encourage you all to start using them and whatnot. So let me add that plot point on there for you. There you go. I did not add and whatnot. So the woman is chained up. You have this wizard bashed down. Moments later, he's unconscious, unable to defend himself. Bark, you've taken a little bit of damage from your friend's horns, but you have successfully knocked this guy out, the dagger falling from his hand. What would you like to do? The woman is still screaming, fearful of this bloody alligator that is still chewing on the unconscious man.
It's over for me. I've been punctured.
Honorless cur using a wag mount as a shield. Look at that little wagging tail. Look at that little tail. Ooh. Starts pawing at his belly like it's a belly rub.
Oh my god, that's too funny.
You'll be okay there, Mount. It'll be all right. You just got poked once or thrice. It doesn't matter.
I can see the God's land I will go to. It's fields of Elysium. They take us.
I'm fairly sure, though, the only place these barbarians go is hell.
What's that?
It's
Is that
a
where the
terrible
bad
place.
dogs go?
It is. It is indeed where the bad dogs go. And all of these filthy people do, too.
I don't like that place.
Well, as you shouldn't. Don't follow a human to hell. Let that be a lesson.
You said that there's a giant boiling pot, right?
There are numerous things bubbling and smoking, various colors and smells, none of which smell tasty in the slightest.
No. But if I do remember right, crocodiles or alligators, they do actually try to drown their prey, and so that's how they choose to eat. Let's try and flip the wizard into a pot.
Well, at the foot of this woman that he was in front of with the knife, she appears to be standing / being held over a massive draining pit. In other words, this big old thing just for collecting blood. And you're pretty sure you might be able to, it'd be a struggle. Maybe if Brutus helped you, you could get him in there, but you could try and back him in there and pull him into that at her feet.
Little dog, bark.
Yeah.
You got a total master up there or whatever. That's your river. Look at her. Brutus, help me with the body.
Indeed. All right. Keep your leathery pants on.
It's a skirt.
Brutus
Time to
starts
pull up
using
the fur. Here we
horns
go.
as backs up, still lockjaw on this leg, trying to get up into this thing. And of course, the woman recognizes who it is now as she just starts going, ah! Seeing this alligator pulling this unconscious wizard towards her into the flesh-rending pot. But clearly she appreciates you and your alligatorness because she keeps saying your name over and over, her voice becoming more and more hoarse.
See, the problem was the wizard didn't say ah.
Egad, how many people know you here?
Everyone. It's fine.
Bark, your new master is being pulled into a flesh-rending pot, unconscious. The dagger now out of his reach.
I'm not long for this world. It's best that we both go together, I guess.
No. That's not what the river wants.
Sadmount, sit.
I have no idea if my lovely little alligator can do this, but she's gonna try anyway to cast guidance on poor little Bark here, using the river's almighty magic bestowing down upon her to help guide Bark into realizing his master is somewhere else.
Who is more druid-like, she's a spiritual gator, does this little thrashing wiggle as Bark, you feel overwhelmed by this sense of purpose and direction. You are guided.
Just gotta follow the river.
I have to get out of here. My god is somewhere else.
Maybe that's your god.
And as they get
Strong hinting.
they've now got the front part the bottom part that is pulling onto into the tub. So the body's kind of halfway up and over, and as the head leans down, Bark, you see your master's necklace fall out around his neck and whatnot, being dragged behind him, his arms up above his head, totally unconscious. This trail of blood where the alligator's been pulling along and Brutus has been nudging and lifting with the horns and whatnot. And the necklace has this large thing that you recognize. Again, you've seen these steel manacles before, and you recognize the key from around his neck. That's how you release people from these steel manacles. The problem, of course, is that there's no way you could ever reach to her manacles up above her head, which must be about a whole 7 feet in the air.
I could get there. I could do it. I feel like you think she would be good to me?
The river always provides.
Certainly better than this bastard.
Yeah, I can't do anything for you, Dad.
And I'll just hobble over, like way more injured than I actually am.
Yes. Oh, the antlers hurt.
And I'll get the keys in my mouth, and I'll like blink up to her hands.
Moment later, you use one of your second blink of the day out of your 3, and poof, you appear on top of her, scrambling on, trying to hold on to her arms and whatnot, and her ahs are just about expended now, from wild alligators pulling bloody wizards into the pot next to her, to dogs disappearing, reappearing now on top of her, and she's pretty sure whatever demon-possessed group of animals you are, now you've come for her too. And she just like slowly faints. She goes slack, and then making it even harder for you to hang on to, but you have this key in your teeth. And you're scrambling, your legs wrapped around her arms.
I'm sorry. I'm just terrible to look at. I know it. That's why you fainted. Oh. And I'll try to unpick the lock.
Go ahead and make a sleight of maw check.
I do love this image of these innocent animals, but there's lots of biting.
18 plot points to that.
I just want to point out he has 69 plot points of his own that he could use on this.
It's okay.
And that
18.
one you drop. Wait, you said you're adding plot points to it?
Yeah, I'm adding 18.
18. Okay, you would have to add. I'm making a rule on the fly here because nat 1s are just so freaking cool, and I want to honor them like I do nat 20s. So I'm going to make a rule for tonight's game. Maybe it'll be something in the future where the only way you can break a nat 1 is to make it a nat 20.
All right, Kitty, I'll take one for the team here. You can have one of my golden crits.
We're gonna make it a nat 20.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I will adjust that accordingly. I'm going to let you guys each have back one
Go
plot
meet
point
your new friend.
just for being willing to help out. So I will bump up to 37. Oh, wait. Wait, he's just given up a whole golden crit. Yeah, so I don't have to... All right, yep. I needed to follow what was going on there. Hold on. Takes a moment with the DM having to do this now, too. So why can I not find Kitty's plot points? There they are.
Kitty, you like start dancing, and then I want to start dancing, and I'm like, bah, and we don't even have the smooth jazz going right now or anything, and we could be like,
Oh, jazz. So like.
Bark, you're pretty sure that you were just about to drop the key, but you're able to grab it. It bounces off your ear. You grab it in your jaws once more, slip it into the thing, and with a huge twist on the slippery arm, just as you fall, it opens up, the chain padlock, and both chains fall away. You and this woman fall on top of the dead person who's half in the bucket, as you all fall in this collapsing heap, falling on top of part of Brutus's head as he was pulling this thing in, and there's this entire kerfuffle as you fall into this rending collection pit for blood that she hadn't been bled, on top of who's still ripping at it, and the wizard lets out a sigh. Dead, the last of his blood from his leg that has just been ripped open, this femoral artery as time passed. This old man leaks out the rest of his blood. Dead, thanks to killing him.
Pooh, my snacky died before I could drown him.
Brutus, you poked me again.
You've fallen on me! Get off!
Your chocolate's on my peanut butter.
Your Brutus is on my bark!
Well, that's a shame. Your new god looks cool.
You have made the full tummy by now, I would think. You've eaten well on this man's leg. Bark, you have succeeded in getting this woman free and whatnot. The rest of you, while there's nothing really yet to drown them, are posed with this situation. What do you do with the woman, with the room, and everything else, with things bubbling away?
Well, I'm so happy you've made yourself a new friend there, Mount One.
I hope she's more than a friend.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm
Marginally.
sure she's a god.
She could be, huh? And I'll lick her face, just like slather her whole face.
But not like my river god, a lesser god.
Hey, you think so? Maybe I should find out about this river. You think that I could go? I get so tired, though.
I don't know if you could handle my god's power.
I think that's true.
You get sad too easy. The river really needs strength of will. You have to be able to fight the, current, you know?
I normally go with the current.
Yeah. I get that from your aura.
Yeah. What's an aura?
I don't know.
While they're having that conversation, I'm going to be up on the tables and stuff, sniffing at all the little bottles with my bunny nose. Ah, yes, that's pleasant. I like this one.
As you do so, as naturally happens, a couple of them you sniff a little too close and they fall over, and one or two shatter, but that's okay because there's plenty of sniffs. You touch on one and it starts to drip down, going through this spiral tube, and it appears right at the start, goes to a purple, and by the time it comes out the other end, it's this clear liquid. In another one, it appears to be some little creature, and as the liquid falls upon it, the creature sprouts wings and begins to fly around in the jar. In the meantime, Bark, your licks slowly get the woman to respond. You're still talking with between licks, and the woman kind of shrugs and comes to, and she's like, looks over and she's like, and realizes with the bloody maw looking at her, dripping blood upon her, and you there quickly, you're cleaning her up, and make a intimidation roll for me. It's kind of
I hope to be the
automatic
most
with you.
intimidating.
Accidental intimidation.
I love it.
I am the most lovable alligator you will ever see.
Boop,
I want
boopy-doo.
to. I would like to add plot points to that to make it a nat 20.
You can only do it if they're willing. Plot points
Okay.
must be a... If she's willing, you can make it a nat 20. I'm absolutely willing.
No. I am the most lovable alligator ever. Come give me a hug.
Rosy cheeks, that's what it is.
The one rule of plot points is the person must be willing. Which normally people are more than willing to say, give me them plot points. You know, she looks up, startled at first, and this alligator is smiling and dripping blood, and then she goes, "You're not here to hurt me after all. You're a cutie." And she reaches out and like instinctively hugs you as if you were just a person in need of a hug. And she picks up the alligator and scoops up bark and squishes you both together up against her bosoms because the wizard had her stripped down in the typical old fashion of I'm gonna gut somebody, just leave them bare. And
Al looks at Bark and says, "Is this what it feels like?"
It feels like this for a while, and then they
Disgusting.
abandon you.
Oh, that sucks.
she places you both down a moment later and then says in her human, blah, 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 and starts chanting something. It appears to be a spell and whatnot. And then she gets frustrated, goes over, starts rummaging through Ahhhhh's former prey until she finds a wand, and then she slips a ring upon her finger, and then she goes back to making these magic sounds again. And as you do, a strange feeling comes over her both, and then you begin to understand her. As she says, she goes, "And now I'm giving you the gift of being able to speak with humans and understand them. I'm elevating your intelligence." And suddenly you realize you're speaking this really brackish, brazen, human, disgusting, whatever the heck they call it, but you can understand them rather than the universal language of animals.
The river is so weird sometimes with what it chooses to gift me with.
And
Is this real?
She goes, "You come from a river? Well, there's no rivers here in the mountains. They must have brought you from far away. Can you understand me, little lizard?"
Yeah, it's the river under the city.
Brutus, you realize that you are in the area of her spell as well, and you are able to now understand this new voice talking.
Understanding human speech, they're too dumb to... Wait. Ah! Ah! Ah!
Talking
What do you
human.
want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want?
What have you done to me?
Why are you saying my name?
Yeah. Oh, right. Eek! Eek!
As the jackalope begins to make this braid sound of eek, as she stands up and she's like, come, jackalope, come.
I didn't want to speak the human tongue. Oh, it's disgusting on my tongue. Oh,
You shouldn't spit at what the river gives you.
Oh.
She looks down,
This-
afraid that her spell hasn't quite worked on the dog, and she pats the dog. She goes, "Did it not work? Was I not able to elevate your mind?"
Are you my god now?
She goes, "No, unlike my foolish brother, I don't pretend to be a god. I don't do things like that. I instead elevate others." She goes, "Clearly, my brother, that fool, wanted to try and destroy everybody here." She goes, "But I'm going to use you now to help me find him."
Well, do you think he would be a good god?
"No, he pretends. He's a destroyer. He's evil, and we need to get back at him for what he has done to other people. You want to help, don't you, dog? What is your name, dog? What shall I call you?"
I think I'd go by Bark.
Bark. It sounds more like a sound, but you know what? Maybe I'm missing an inflection there, she says. "But I need clothes and whatnot. You, over there, Jackalope, can you find clothes? What is your name?"
Normally, I wouldn't talk to one of your kind, but the hatred of your brother I can respect at least a little bit. You may refer to me as Brutus Don Varsuvius.
That's a very long name, but I respect long names. My family has a long tradition of mighty names.
Ah, good. That's very majestic of you. I enjoy this.
He goes, "Check that wardrobe over there, would you please, Brutus? See if you can find my clothes."
Fine.
My
This
gosh, she's a
perverted
Disney
man
princess getting the
stripped me down
animals
and
to
wanted
do her
take
work.
my blood.
All right, clothes. What do humans wear? Is it dirt? I think it's dirt.
No, we wear clothes. It's animals that wear dirt. I've elevated your mind. Don't get the two confused. What is the alligator doing during all this?
The alligator is staring, and a few times the alligator's made witty commentary, including saying that she was a Disney princess. But
Yeah.
it's just spectating right now, really taking in what the river seems to have provided and wondering if it's one of those things that the river provides and then you wake up later and you realize it wasn't really provided, but it was entertaining.
She seems confused for a moment and just kind of stares.
Me too.
Don't mind Bitey Mount. They're always like that, I think.
I don't think this one will be my god, and they don't know where my god is. We have to go find my god.
Hey, lady. Tell him that you're his goddess.
She looks and she goes, I can be your goddess. I don't really like saying that, but how about I just rule over you? Can't we just be friends? Wouldn't that work?
Isn't, whoa, man, dog's best friend?
Dad, we can do that. Will you accept that, Bark? Will you accept me as a best friend?
Will you bring me the treats, and you'll bring me food?
I'm sure this fool had food in here somewhere. I saw him nibbling on some meat stick earlier. And she starts going around the room, opening drawers, pulling things out. Looks over at the thing flying inside that has recently been transformed by Brutus's playing with magic. Taps at the glass a few times.
Don't mess with that. I'm thinking if I eat it later, I'll be able to grow wings.
She goes, well, possibly. I don't know. This wizard was into the draconic magics, which is why he abducted me, the fool, thinking that he could get blood from me and summon the magic out. I'm not the one that took the drugs. By the way, I need you to use your senses. Can you smell anything draconic in here? He was after all this draconic blood and the draconic pills. He'd been working for the emperor.
Well, that sounds like a job for Bark, doesn't it?
Bark, my friend, could you use your faithful sniffer? And she rubs along your snout. Could you do that for me? Can you smell draconic things, Bark?
What is draconic? Is it like ah?
Eek.
She listens to this going back and forth. It's like rubs her temples and then says, "Oh, I had hoped. Look for. I'll tell you what, Brutus. You open things. I'll spill them out on the ground. You guys go through it. We're looking for. Oh, would you even know what pills are? They're like small man-made stones that humans can swallow, but don't swallow them. Whatever you do." And so she starts ripping things open and just pouring things out. And Brutus, she gets over to the cabinet that you were able to open, and that's the only place she stops for a moment. And she starts whipping out various clothes, looking for what she was wearing until she finds them wadded up in a sack at the bottom. And she starts getting dressed, putting on her own fur of human fake fur.
That certainly isn't dirt.
That's a little unsettling. So she said there's these things that taste really good that we need to find.
No, they're tiny little poops.
No, guys, I've seen this stuff before. They're the river's blessings. Lots of people flush them away and they end up in the river for us. I know what we're looking for. And now is gonna go around and start trying to find some pills.
I would like each of you that's willing to participate to make an investigation check. And we'll turn on the dice camera here so that people can see. Wow.
The tiny white poops that humans stick in their mouth. Yes, of course.
Huxley, you found them. You found the small bag of stones.
Yay, eat them.
Literally, moments later, Huxley's like, or excuse me,
not the poop.
is like, and Ah's choking a little bit, as swallows this bag of gems all the way down into his stomach. Her stomach, sorry. Into her stomach. That's it. They're gone. In the meantime, Brutus and Bark, together as you two were searching, you found one of the things that got tossed out was the small wooden box, and it appears to have spilled out, and they don't really look like stones. They look like these small red and yellow. They're kind of elongated, smooth, and whatnot, and they're flashing with color very gently. You'd have to be looking just right. But Bark and Brutus, your eyes are sharp enough, while Oz over there swallowing this bag of gems and whatnot. These are all the same, but they don't look like coins, which Bark has seen before, and Brutus you've seen as you were bought and sold. They look kind of both cylindrical with rounded ends and whatnot.
like little rabbit poops.
Yeah, elongated rabbit poops. There you go.
That's what I'm saying. What kind of food would they have had to have eaten to have made poops like this?
What do they smell like?
Barbarians.
What? I want to know. Do they smell good?
It doesn't smell like poop.
As you put your nose to it, Bark, sniffing at them, I would like you to make an Arcana roll for me. And I don't know what Bark. You've got blink ability, so you must have some sort of Arcana in your background. What you get isn't a smell, it's an electrical jolt up your nose as you touch each one. They tingle and kind of numb your nose. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
These are not treats for me, I don't think.
Brutus?
You there? What was her name? You there? Human? Yes, I'll just call you Human for now. Human,
That's
what do
Goddess.
these do?
The woman who's just finishing, putting on the upper part and adjusting all herself and whatnot so that she's fully garbed in the style that she likes. And you realize it's tight in other places, loose in others. And she now has this regal authority of the most godlike masters. As she comes over and she says, "Did you find them? Excellent, excellent." And she reaches down and starts scooping them all back into the case. She goes, "Perfect. The fortune." She was well done as she scritches Bark behind the ears and she, pats Brutus between the horns and whatnot. Oh, and Brutus shies away. On the other hand, is over there still kind of choking, until he gets down, or she gets down her large lump. She goes, "What's that? What did you eat?"
The pills.
No! You didn't eat the pills! Good God. And then she starts looking around for the dagger on the ground and quickly runs over to get the dagger and she goes, "They'll kill you!" And then she reaches over and she goes, "I'm sorry, but I have to cut them out of you."
Whoa, now, that's a little too much. Slow down there, barbarian. We can't be cutting people.
I need to drown you if you want
You
to cut me.
You see her look at you, Brutus, and you get the look intentionally, like the eyebrows down. You can tell that predator look as she holds the dagger, suddenly aggressively towards you as she reaches out towards to grab but her focus is on Brutus, giving an opportunity attack if would like, since Ah's already thinking about how to drown and whatnot. And you clearly understand.
Is going to move away back towards the desk because hopefully she'll follow and I can lure her into the same trap as the wizard.
Starts squirming along backwards. I don't know how well alligators squirm backwards, but
I
for
just run
alligator-
forward and get around to the desk.
There you go. And alligators are pretty quick, even better in the water, but you can get up to speed. You're slow on the ground, but man, I've seen an alligator move once they get up. Or is that crocodile? I don't know. I can't remember.
I have no idea.
I know one of them can get up to like 30 miles an hour, man, when they're running. They're like, it's pretty impressive. Over short distances, man, they really can, too, which is how they snap things out from the edge of the water. Anyway, so
It turns out Oggs is a Caprasuchus that can gallop.
I love it. So, starts doing this kind of like deceptive moving around. Bark, you see all this happening and whatnot, and you've now heard the threat that she wants to save Oz by literally cutting out the pills that Oz swallowed.
So So she's still intense on that, right?
She seems to be.
Mm.
But she's focused on you for the moment, Brutus, because you were like, no, coming in, and she held the dagger towards you as if to hold you off in case you tried attacking her with those massive jackalope horns.
I haven't done that before.
I think I'll look for a way out. How do we get out of here?
You know the doors you came in by. You can also see a second door because during the investigation, when you guys were opening everything up, there is another door which leads to a stairway. It wasn't closed all the way, so it was easy to see.
Our god is not here. We have to go find the god. Try to get everybody to leave.
Well, hold on there. Let's not leave yet. We have to leave with everybody.
How do you want to de-escalate the situation?
Surely whatever that they ate couldn't have been that bad, or something would have happened, right?
She goes, it took my brother overnight for the full effects to set in. She goes,
well, then why don't you wait before you kill something that you've wasted time increasing intelligence of?
Isn't your, brother still alive? Chillax, it's just pills to help me communicate better with the river.
make a persuasion roll for me. I'll give
Which
you
one?
a chance. You're trying to persuade
okay.
her to chillax.
I'll add 10 plot points.
You know what? You are able to convince her that, you know what, just wait and see what happens. And it backs her down enough that she says, fine. She goes over to the wizard, pulls off his Aahhhhh's sheath, slides it into it, takes some more things from the room. Pretty soon she's got a little sack that she's filled up. She looks around, finds a backpack that she clearly had before, and again, she's loaded herself up with, you can't tell if it's the wizard's gear or her gear or what she's had, and she says, let's get out of here. But she doesn't go to the door that you all came in through this freight elevator. Instead, she goes over to the stairway door. Do you wish to go with her? She goes, come, my friends.
Hold on. What about the liquid that gave this thing wings? I want wings!
She goes, I don't know what this alchemist was doing. He was trying to recreate the Emperor's magic. He was part of the original team. And foolishly, he thought he could take it out of my blood. But I don't have any of the draconic blood in me. She goes, that's my brother. She goes, I don't know what he was doing. If this is draconic blood, it might be. Do you really want me to pour this on you?
Well, it's okay, alchemy. I think I can master this craft you call alchemy. I will learn it and make wings for myself, I think. Yeah.
Totally. I've known him for like half an hour now, and he can totally do it. The river's providing for him.
Do you want to pour it on us?
Who are you asking, her or him?
Her.
Oh, okay. She goes, no, I wanted to go search for my brother, but, you know, I'm trusting and she stops, and then she goes, what the river is bringing me, she goes, which was all of you, to assist me. So, I've given you the best ability I can. I've raised up your intelligence to understand humans. I don't think that could actually give you the ability to do alchemy, but I've never raised a jackalope before to this level, so I'll trust you, Brutus. Go for it. What are you going to do?
It's not the alchemy, it's the wings. That's the end result. How majestic would I be being able to soar through the sky and bound like a rabbit? Ah, it's fantastic.
Well, this is a wizard shop. Maybe he has that ability. I don't know. She goes over and taps that thing that's still flying around to get inside the jar. She goes,
How big is that thing that's flying around?
about the size of a fist.
Oh, okay, so little, pretty tiny, and it didn't fly before.
Correct.
And what is it shaped like?
It looks like a half frog humanoid, and now it's got these gossamer big white feathery wings, and it's floating around and whatnot. And you did this all by nudging the other color before and letting the red become the purple and spiral out and whatnot. So
All right. All right. I just can't bring it to myself to do anything more to you, little friend. Would you like to be free from your jar? Those wings should be used majestically in the air.
It looks and it goes, sprint, sprint. And since it's held, and its frog jaw kind of opens and closes and goes, sprint, sprint.
Can we not understand our own animal kind anymore? Or is he just saying Sprigget for fun?
I don't think he's Fey.
I'm gonna see if I can't kick like the top of the jar to like break it loose from the rest of the glass and give it something to fly out of.
Moments later, you've pushed the conical top off of it, and the Spriggan can't fit quite out the top with the wings, but it is able to fly up, grab onto the top, pulls itself out, stands on the top edge balancing, and moments later starts flying and pulling itself around and going up into the air and flying all around like a giant moth.
Yes, good. All is right with the world. All right, I'll leave this here. I will master this alchemy business later.
The Spriggan comes over and flops down upon your horns, hanging onto your horn. Spriggan? Spriggan? And she goes, great, let's go.
Friend.
Moments later, she leads the three of you out. Bark, because she's worried about you tripping on your big ears, and she offers to carry both you and down to help.
That would be the best. I am quite hurt.
She looks at you, kind of checks you over, and she goes, you don't look badly damaged, Bark.
I've been poked full of holes. I don't think I'll last much longer.
Well, she goes, here, and some of those meat treats that she saw the wizard eating earlier, she offers you the dried jerky that the wizard was eating. I
ravishly eat all of it right away.
And it's even better because it's human food that's been treated. It's like salty and you're able to down all this.
It's the god's treats.
You see her feeding the dog.
I'll start snapping her jaws at her.
Moments later, Bark, you have to share the food. She gives up what little she has from the wizard to both of you and whatnot, which gives you full healing to full hit points and whatnot, and you head down together. You come out near the bottom of the tower, and one of the things is, she says, just like a wizard, have all the traps coming in and none going out. Fool. All because he thought he could chase down Dorseal on his own. Idiot. All the Emperor's men are idiots. And she just keeps complaining and cursing about all this. When she gets to the bottom, though, the rain is still going outside. And she's ever so cautious coming out and whatnot. Looks around, she goes, where is that idiot brother of mine? Then she goes, come on, Brutus, follow me.
Have you considered following the current of the river to find him? The river provides.
She holds up the alligator, looks at it, and she goes, let me find out what my brothers found first. And then she says, follow me, Brutus. And then she dodges across, carrying both Bark and on each of her chests, and leads you right back over to the tavern where she was before, where you met the other individual before. Except this time she goes up, opens the door, and walks in. The same individual is at the bar, and he's like, oh no, what are you doing? I just got rid of those. And she yells silence at him. She goes, where's my brother? There you are. Fool, get over here. And he goes, excuse me? He's sitting at a table, this individual who has red hair, and he now pulls back the cloak. And then he says, excuse me, sister. I don't think that's quite appropriate. And she says, and you see her entire demeanor change. No perception roll needed. She goes, I'm so sorry, brother. She goes, you don't know what happened to me. He goes, I've been looking for you. And quickly these two start an exchange. And Brutus, you're allowed in. She quickly makes amends by paying the barkeep with some money that she picked up from the wizard. She gives him some money and says, look, I'll take care of them. Look, they can speak. She goes, Brutus, speak.
Ta-da!
Zara, opens his one eye, leaving the other, and he goes, what about
That's
your
right, take it in, you puffed up coxcomb.
And she says, these are my familiars. She goes, you would not deny a wizard They're familiars, or they're mount, Brutus. Because we don't bring mounts inside.
Yes.
He goes, this one's small enough and will sit properly. So, money tends to be the ultimate human language, and she forks over a bunch of it, allowing you to stay. As she talks with this other individual, who you quickly gather is her brother. Well, it didn't seem that hard to find until you
I thought your
gathered.
brother was bad.
And the other one seems to be able to understand you as well. You know, just like Czar did. And he looks and goes, what have you told him about our brother? And she goes, well, wait, hold on. And she leans down to your ear hole and whispers, the things I shared with you in private should not be shared here. And then she whispers the same thing to both Bark and Brutus. She goes, I'm sorry about that. She goes, I'm sorry about that, brother. There was a fierce combat. I was abducted when I was taken from you. She goes, the wizard had me here. He goes, what wizard? What are you talking about? You stormed off on your own. What's this about an abduction? He goes, I came here, I searched. I've been looking for Huxtable this entire time, trying to find out where he is. He goes, I followed all the patterns here. She goes, a wizard was searching for him as well, looking for the dragon's blood inherent in our family. She goes, he abducted me thinking that I had taken some of the Emperor's pills as well. But the fool was wrong. He goes, our brother was the one experimented on. Aren't we here to save him? She goes, of course we are. We need to find him. And I've now gotten us help. These familiars will help us to locate him. Well, the brother says, well, I was able to find out while you were gone that they committed murder. And at about this time, you realize that the difference now is the people that were cowering in the back when and all of you came through the front are now gone. The tavern is mostly empty except for her brother here, who seemed to have been waiting for her. The back door is open that was closed previously when you went to the kitchen. And you can now easily see, all of you with your animal senses, that there's blood on the ground and it's a chaos back there and whatnot. There also appears to be people walking about. And the brother says, that's Eris, the wayward. He commands them. He says, don't get on his bad side. He's as quick to kill as anything else, and he seems incredibly upset. He seemed to have known them, at least briefly. And when she starts asking questions, she says, they literally committed mass murder and then cut their way out through the floor. She says, it's just like him. Everywhere he goes, there's death. And she says it loud enough for Sarah to see. If you don't know, warn others now. Wherever my brother goes, death will follow. And she seems to have no qualms about hiding this whatsoever.
It's strange. As she says this, I feel like I'm getting an image of like frog fish people whose whole village is just getting destroyed.
Not me, man. I'm just seeing the river.
She says,
I think none of these are my god. None of them will provide for me. I'll just be alone forever.
she looks at you
You're
and says,
so picky about your god, but like the river provided this to you.
the brother is looking at you as you're all speaking in this kind of human language now and whatnot. And she says, look, I've told them I would provide for them. She's explained to her brother. She says, look, will you take care of Bark for a minute here? I just need to go into the back.
Oh, I'm being given away again.
No,
Oh,
I'm just
calm
leaving you
down,
in his
Mount.
care. I'm just going into the back to talk to the other humans to find out where my brother went.
I'll
Just
never be back.
Just follow the flow of the river and she'll be back.
Do you want me to leave you here or bring you with me?
I'll go with, man.
So she continues to carry this alligator in her arms, which is getting kind of heavy and whatnot, but, alligators are low to the ground and not quite as agile as people. So she carries you along. Brutus, she didn't even ask you. Maybe that was just rude. Maybe she figured your size or whatnot. But she walks off towards this back room, And then she starts having a conversation. You're able to hear her as she starts questioning the guard, looks at what happened, confirms that this mass murder, you hear about this goblin and whatnot that was beheaded back here, literally plucking out eyeballs. And then she proceeds to start telling stories of the other massacres, the things that happened, the horrible things that this evil Huxtable does wherever Huxtable goes. And how she's been sent to try and track him down and what can they do. And the Wayward, which was particularly resistant at first to any outside help, was challenging her on who she is and whatnot, ends up being convinced to allow you all to follow. He says they've gone out through the things, and she says, you know what? I've got an animal that can sniff and track smells. We can do this. She says, hang on, and then she goes back to get Bark from her brother. Bark.
You've been gone forever.
Yes, but I've come back for you, Bark. Here, and she
You've been gone
thrusts
forever.
into her brother's hands. Says, here, you hold my lizard, and Bark, I'm going to take you. And then she walks off with Bark, and she goes, and she introduces him and says, this is my dog who can't speak at all, but can sniff really well. And she kind of nudges Bark as if to be quiet. I don't know if Bark will catch the meaning of that. And she goes, here, sniff at the hole. Can you sense somebody that smells like me, but is different and whatnot? There are still dead bodies on the ground all around. There's blood and whatnot.
I smell.
And there's
Let's just start talking. Yeah. I smell cobwebs, rat poop, and yeah, I smell one like you.
She quickly has to start explaining to the Wayward, Eris is his name, and it has to explain to Eris why when she said he can't talk, what she meant was he can't talk as an animal anymore. It's a spell she's using because she's already said I'm a wizard and whatnot. You know, I can clearly help here and whatnot. Look, you've just seen the magic that I could put into this dog, and clearly he's found somebody like me. And she sticks her head through the hole, and there's only a crawl space underneath. She goes, Bark, let me lower you down and see if you can't figure out which direction they went.
Will you be gone forever?
No, I'm right here above you, Bark. I just want to lower you into the hole so that you can figure out which direction to go.
I'm going to be put in the hole. Have I been bad?
No, Bark. Just here. And she starts to lower you into the hole. Just sniff around, Bark. Look, I'm right here with you. Your master is with you.
Okay.
And others in the
You
room
want
start
me to
complaining
go in the
about
hole
the stupidest dog in the
too?
world.
Are you
being
not
helped
alone?
by the brother back at the table right now.
Oh, I thought you asked if she wanted to go with.
Boy, she's just playing musical
Swap you
chairs
out.
with the animals.
Okay.
They went this way, and I'll just like dragging my ears through the dirt. I'm lost forever underneath the tavern.
Drag your head. Look, can't you find the smell?
Yeah, they went this way, and I'll just like basset hound through.
You basset hound through towards the edge where part of the lower underneath is open to the outside. She says, we'll meet you outside, Bark. One moment. She rushes back to the table where and Brutus and her brother are. She says, Bark has been able to find the way. Come, let's go. And Eris is like, what do you need? And she quickly explains that if she's able to capture the group that has gotten away, she'll bring them back. And Eris calls after her, watch out, there's a wolf kind tracking them as well. She has a wolf kind? Good God. What does the Emperor release now? Come, we need to quickly meet Bark outside. Leading you out, you see Bark come out into the alley, and Bark is quickly sniffing away. His sniffer's going wild. He's onto something now. She catches up Brutus, you and in her hands, as well as this other brother and whatnot, and Bark, it becomes easier as you leave here, away from the blood behind you. It becomes more clear. You're able to lead them around, out, and then you realize that with the rain and everything, the rain is posing a real problem. You have disadvantage on your next investigation roll to find out where they went.
If I don't do this, I'll be left forever. Do you want me to investigate?
If you want to try to investigate, it's up to you, or you can just give up and say no. It's up to you. She's expecting you to investigate, and you had disadvantage, so you got an 11.
11.
Can I add some points to that too?
Sure can. Absolutely.
I gotta be wingman here.
I'll never be taken. Nobody
All right,
ever wants.
what was this total at?
11.
It's total.
11. All right. You know what? I'm just gonna take off 9 points. I'm gonna make it a 20.
Okay, dirty 20 it is. Suddenly, Bark, you're like, amidst all the rain, you find out where some of them have gone, and you have to differentiate because they haven't moved all together, but you find the one that smells as close to her as possible, and you're able to lead them back towards the road, back downriver. They're going with the flow. Clearly, Ahhhhh's wisdom was correct. They've gone downstream. You follow along the edge, losing it for a while, having to search all over, but then it's not far at all, just a few buildings down where there's stronger smells. There's cows all over, and yes, you actually see the cows in the rain back moving about and whatnot, and there's individuals over here, somebody complaining about his cows, trying to talk about fixing a fence and other things, and it's a human, but it's not your master, you know that. Your master's right with you, this woman and whatnot, and her brother. They've followed along. Brutus is with you. It seems almost like he mixed his smell with the cows, or maybe went into this cow corral.
I just do the little pointer thing towards the cow den.
There you go. Ears hanging down, little tail still wagging, not perfect pointer, but little paw up off the ground in the water. And she looks and goes, "What do you get?" And the brother's like, "I don't understand. Did the dog lose it? Did you freeze him? Has the magic worn off?" And the two talk about, she goes, "I think he wants us to go in there." What do you think, Ah? The flow goes downstream, but they seem to have peeled off.
Well, my river branches off into a lot of areas, so maybe this is one of the branches.
There's an interesting thing. She has to try and negotiate to get yourselves into the cow pasture, and this owner is looking, the cow owner, and says, you want to bring that sharp tooth thing in here. You want to bring, no, that's bad.
My name is Ah.
Make a unintentional intimidation check. And you are able to say "ah" without the guy freaking out and running away. So he's like, "You have magic alligator, magic crocodiles?" And she says, "My lizard here has been given the wisdom of people, as have all these animals. They are now
Ooh,
more
the wisdom
friends
of
than anything
people.
else."
I consider it more the wisdom of the river.
He goes, "Oh, for God's sakes," he goes, "are you part of that whole group of chasing that big old freaking toothy thing? Is this his child and whatnot that ran through here earlier? Wait, rocks and, oh God, you know what? Just don't hurt my cows. Don't hurt my cows." And he opens the gate and lets you through this muddy patch, which Brutus actually feels not bad. You're used to walking in the rain out in the wild and whatnot. Your hooves kind of, while they sink a little bit, you don't worry about it. You walk through all this. But all they do is walk back to the stone wall, part of the mountain that comes down. It's been carved out, and there appears to be nothing. The scent is lost here amidst cow patties. It's just a barren wall. And the brother says, "Sister, I know you want magic. I know you believe in all this, but clearly it doesn't work. Despite the fact that you found some talking animals." She goes, "I did this." "Okay, sister, I realize these animals are yours, but our brother is not a wall. No offense to your dog, but this is a mountain."
Hey, dude. If you're following upstream, rivers all come from mountains.
I let you down again. You'll get rid of me now, 'cause I can't find anything right.
"No, we just need to find my brother. We know he escaped. If we've lost the trail, though, we have to pick it up again."
I think the trail leads here, though.
We're at the foot of a mountain. I mean, what else do you think of with mountains other than burrows? I think of a burrow when I look at a mound of dirt. Why don't we go under?
When I look at dirt, I think of prey to drag underwater.
The brother that's
disturbing.
with him says, "Wait a moment. Water, burrow, underwater goes downhill." He starts digging around at the rock on the ground, as if pushing mud out of the way and whatnot. And then he says, "Here, look, the water. It's flowing towards this crack here." He goes, "I think it's a door. I think there's a hidden door here, sister. I don't think your dog was wrong at all." She reaches
Then
down.
why
and
did
gives
you
Bark a
say
really
he
good
was?
stretch. Because we just figured. I can't believe I'm talking to a lizard. No, I'm not talking to. No. And he starts looking. He goes, "We'll need somebody to get us in, though. We'll need magic. In the meantime, you notice that some of Eris's followers, also dressed in this black of the Wayward, have followed over here. The two humans that are with you don't seem particularly upset by it, and each of you have seen these humans walk around the wall before, as you've been here. But clearly there's some sort of authority tension that comes with them, because other humans have always bowed down to these, not bowed literally, but deferred to them as an authority. As they come close, they want to know what's going on, why you're in the cow pasture. And they describe that they also chased, and yes, there is a door here, but they were unable to open it. Clearly, though, they feel that the wolf kind that tracked them was. It's the second time that wolf has been mentioned. I would like you to make an investigation roll for me, Bark. Bark makes a beautiful investigation roll, 13, and you do catch the smell of wolf.
I think it came this way. He's... maybe... yeah.
Okay, you definitely have the idea of this wolf as well as now the others, and you can differentiate the two easily. The problem is going to be how to get through this wall. It appears that the door can open. It appears from hearing them talk that the wolf has made his way through. It appears that the original group has gotten through here. But how will you, as a party of adventuring animals, overcome this obstacle?
Clearly, when you want to go inside of the dirt, you dig.
Now, Bark, you do know you have one blink left. You've only used 2 of the 3 for the day.
It's too dangerous. I can't go... I can't do it by myself. I need someone else to go. Can someone else do something?
I'll go.
Okay.
Go where? Your owner woman asks. What are
You
talking
said the
about?
water flows there?
You can sense now that he's talked about it and look, and yes, it flows around a little crack in the door.
I'm gonna start trying to use my claws to dig. I don't know how they do it, but I do know alligators and crocodiles have come through toilets before, so that's what my alligator's gonna try and do.
Don't believe the urban hype.
You can try.
You can absolutely try. Just don't believe the urban hype about toilets is what I'm referring to.
I'm still trying.
You can still take a poop and be safe. No alligators coming out of your toilet. And you
might even poop out a magic dragon pill.
There are those in your belly. We're still waiting to see.
So, I mean, perhaps there's some way we could just move the earth.
Can you do that? Move all the earth. That would make it so I
digging.
could see, and then I could be right there.
I'm digging as best as I can.
Between the nose of the lizard, between the horns of Brutus, between the digging of Bark, who goes over his ears a lot, you spread the mud thick and thin. And what you do find is that the goblins, in all their intelligence, knew that if you wanted a secret door, and you don't have a spell, you need a way in. You guys find a hidden lever about 8 inches beneath the muck and the mud that any goblin who knew to find the door would know to dig up and use. Moments later, there's a click and a flip, and the mountain literally opens up, swinging out about 3 to 4 inches. Brutus is able to take his horns and pry at it, and then the brother and the sister open it up, and there beyond is a passageway. Now, of course, Eris and the Wayward were watching, and he goes, "That's how they got in." And he yells back towards the cow owner, "We figured out how they terrified your cows. We'll seal it up after." And he goes, "Are you sure you want to do this to the woman?" She goes, "Yes, I must find my brother." And the brother looks at her and goes, "Our brother, sister. Our brother." And she says, of course, yes, you know, you're my favorite, but if we're going to protect him, if we're going to save him, we have to find him first." Moments later, they're leading you down. Now, most of you don't have dark vision. I'm pretty sure that an alligator would. You see under the water pretty well with murky, so we're going to give you dark vision on that. Bark, maybe you got a low light vision, but you're a dog, so you need something. And I know you're nocturnal, so you guys have better than normal, but I really wouldn't call it dark vision where with no light you can see. I'll give it to the alligator. They're under the water. I'm going to assume they can kind of see in darkness. I don't know. At least in this world, we're going to give it to them. But you guys have, I'm going to create a low light vision, kind of not infravision from original D&D, but something more like low light vision, which was its own thing to extend where there's light in the darkness. They kind of morphed a lot of things together when they created dark vision for 5e. They just brought infravision, low light vision, all these things, and just kind of said, that's it. So maybe we should do the same for the game. There you go, you got dark vision, all of you. I like that. We change on the fly. You have dark vision heading into this tunnel.
I want blind sense for smelling, like a level 14 rogue.
Blind sense for smelling. I think for a one-shot, that's totally possible. How good is your sniffer? You now have, instead of low light vision, you have blind sense. Is there anything else that you individuals would see that you need for this last 10 minutes?
But it's only 5-foot radius.
Oh.
Okay. I like that. Good limitation.
How about tremor sense?
Done. And as the door closes behind all of you, you feel the tremors as it goes and closes shut. Now knowing that they're closing it on the other side because you've heard Eris and his humans speak this. You start heading down this long passage, which clearly is man-made, and by that I mean humanoids of some type have made this, but it's not that tall. You know, literally these two who are following you are stooped over as they come down it. You know, you start moving down together. Brutus, the sounds of your hooves, the click, 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 are easily heard. And I do need to change this. One moment. I just realized that we're still on the... This whole time you've been in a tavern and you've been listening to chemistry sounds behind you. That's pretty bad. That's really kind of bad. I'm like, wow.
So I just can't get this alchemy out of my head. I've seen so many things.
I've learned so much in such a short time.
And so many smells.
The humans speak to me now.
Don't
been a long
remind
day.
me.
Is there anything that you're looking for as you go?
I suppose I would just look for any side passages, or anybody who might be eyeing us in the darkness, in wait.
One of the things that you realize is there's no offshoots to this passage. There's nowhere for anybody to hide. You figure this out as you're going along. Interestingly enough, it goes on downward and downward and downward, as if this had one purpose only. Of course, what that purpose is might be debatable. You just know it's an instant route, and if your prey is on this, if her brother is here, it should be easy to find. And Bark, you can follow the smell easily here, both the wolf smell as well as the smell of her brother. You move along. Her brother tends to talk a lot, by the way, too. Talking about what we found out, this, that, and the other thing about spells, what we're going to do when we find our brother. And her entire demeanor is very different now than it was up in the wizard's tower where you were. This wizard who wanted to bleed her just for her blood. This wizard who clearly wants draconic magic. And you follow down further, moving along. There's other strange smells here. Ones you can't identify. Some are fainter and older. Some smell like bark. You've smelled a tiefling before in your past, and you're like, there's a couple tieflings in with it. There's other very faint smells. Eventually, though, you come out towards a landing. And you get a sense with your 5-foot radius, Bart, that there's a ledge in front of you. A huge ledge that falls into utter darkness. Brutus, you're clicking up the ladder and whatnot. On this ledge, it's only about 2.5 feet wide. So you're going to have to literally, easy enough for you as animals to follow. But for your humans, it's a little precarious. Bark, you have the easiest time of all. But if one of these humans takes a stumble, they're going to go off that edge.
I would be...
Gods, watch yourself. It gets a little tight here.
Be careful, gravity's not your friend there, Mount.
What do you think? You're being were you walking this whole time, or were you being carried?
I assumed so. I assumed I was walking.
Wiggling around?
Yeah.
Were you up near the front or near the back?
Somewhere in the middle. Like I pictured like all of us animals were taking the lead, and then I was like the last animal in the lead.
So clearly all of you speaking animals and whatnot, speaking with the humans, were able now to discern all this. And as you're moving along, it's taken quite a while. Have you guys been talking about anything along the way?
Just the river.
Probably listening to the two humans talk and going, drama.
One of the
I know, right? Like, I don't know any of my siblings.
Like normal.
Shortly you realize that the humans are no longer making sense. They've changed their language. In fact, all of you realize the humans can't speak to you at all.
You think I should bite them to make them talk to us again?
Well, that's terribly rude of them to stop talking to us.
Right?
And then I'm gonna do the little rabbit pout thing where I thump my back legs, and then I think I'm just going to like lightly headbutt between my antlers, not poking one of the back heels of one of them.
You are able to poke the brother and whatnot, and he stops, and they have this discourse back and forth where they seem to be arguing with each other. And what you realize is that clearly the ability to speak human and whatnot is gone from you. It's worn off. And he seems to be arguing with his sister now and whatnot. And you see her making motions, shrugs, and, talking about something. And, she keeps tapping, this ring that she's wearing. And she's like, that's it. But, she's not able to communicate with you. She just scritches Bark on the head, but she doesn't try Brutus this time. And she talks to her brother again, and then he fishes out some food. And she offers some food, meat, to both and Bark. She doesn't really have anything for Brutus, sadly. Nobody has any veggies or anything else.
I will start snapping it up.
You start snapping
Leaves
it up.
no green.
She's clearly trying to lead you along to use animal handling to bring you all along with her.
I shall follow where there is food.
You guys follow along, and you move along this ledge, and slowly you find this opening where Bark, your senses pick up the sense of burning and blood, and not too long before you find a dead body laying there that's been charred, burned, stabbed through the head, and whatnot. Brutus, more signs of people and whatnot. There's a chair sitting there as well on the edge.
I don't understand the people that live above the river. They have such strange pastimes. Like, who just willingly goes inside of a bear? Like, did he want to die?
We haven't found her. I don't think this is their brother.
Think so either.
Make a perception roll for. In fact, all three of you can make a perception roll. Okay, I got 17, a -1 for Bark, poor Bark, and a 19 for Brutus. Brutus, you hear it. You're so used to listening for predators. You hear the breathing. You're all in the cave looking at this thing wrapped in bear cloth and other stuff, and you're the first one. Your head, you know the fight or flight. You're like, bam. You're frozen. You're in a dead-end cave. Only a small ledge nearby, and the sound is immediate. Breathing of a predator nearby. Ah! You just happen to be looking over that way, and you're like, there's this huge humanoid thing. And you can see it because you all have dark vision. Outline. It appears that these two humans have not noticed it yet. They are focused on searching the cave, looking for something clearly. They've gone through the body and everything else, but the two of you, Bark, you're just happily moving with the humans, have noticed this figure, and then you hear the growl low as this wolf kind takes notice of all of you. What do?
Growl back and snap my jaws. This is clearly a territory battle, and I will not lose.
Make a challenged intimidation roll. Let's see.
I've got a suggestion.
He starts to growl louder.
Can I do an inspiration?
Sure. You can't do an inspiration,
yes.
but you can adjust with plot points.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my inspiration doing this.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, like bardic inspiration.
Oh.
Yeah.
Brutus the Bard. Go for it.
Yeah.
Brutus the Bard's one ability is to give bardic inspiration to somebody 3 times a day. So.
What is bardic inspiration?
1d8, if I remember, isn't it?
It depends on the weather. 1d6, I think, at the start, and goes up.
I think it is 1d6 at the start, and then
Alright, so I add
grows as it
1d6?
goes.
There you go.
Yes.
Okay.
And
then I'm using my inspiration, yep. So let me just, where is intimidation?
And add d6 to it. So
and I'll add another 5 plot points.
15, so you're making it a dirty 20.
Yep.
I think we all know what I'm gonna do.
Oh.
I run away.
Coward why?
I run away.
And
Brave Sir Robin ran away.
Huxley inspiration is now off used. So with your dirty 20, you start snapping at this thing, and this giant wolf kind looks, sniffs the air behind it, and starts moving past the cave. As if whatever it saw in the cave it didn't like, or maybe whatever was chasing it didn't like. The humans don't appear to have noticed at all.
I run away.
That's right. Stay away from my river.
Bark, alert the grunts! Alert the grunts to what's happening here! Keep him at bay. Do it. Come on now. You can do it.
Bark?
What?
And I'm just running.
Bark listens, Bark does it. And as he does, the humans take notice that something is wrong. Turn around, see the alligator snapping. And at this point, the wolf picks up speed, the wolf kind. And you can all hear its footsteps as it pads away. And the brother says, I think I heard something. What do you think it was? And the sister goes, I don't know. Do you think it was our brother running? And the brother says, no, the footsteps are wrong. But whatever it isn't bothering us. She says, that's because I have brought my menagerie with me. the magical menagerie will now serve us and protect us evermore. We're safe as we get our brother back. And that's where we'll end it for tonight. Thank you. What an all. You guys did fantastic. Wow. I'll tell you, I didn't
That was
expect
surprisingly fun.
You know, it was always interesting to see that it's a living, breathing world and things are happening, and you get a chance to intermingle with all the things that are happening, even when it's off screen, because the world continues to unfold. So, what was your favorite part about tonight, Bark? And yes, we're still live. Well, I guess actually, yeah. Share your favorite part about tonight.
I love the openings of just not knowing, and I was like, just say yes to everything. And the first thing I said was, I do nothing. Because I was like, what would a dog do if a person picked him up?
There you
It
go.
was just like a tame dog. I guess I would just go with it.
And there's Huxley. Nope, you're not the one. Whoop.
Oh.
Discarded.
And the rejection complex continues.
How's about you, Brutus? Speaking of your complex.
I enjoyed the kerfuffle with the mage and finding out that our basset hound is part blink dog.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised by that one too. I was like, okay, I blink and I'm on top of it. But I'm like, we can do that. Just say yes. All right. It's a
enough.
one shot.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite part though, was just the chaos surrounding that situation and the revelation.
A blink basset that just wants to be
Yes.
loved. And how would we describe you, Brutus, who wants to fly? The jackalope that wants to fly.
Oh, the jackalope wants to be everything, realistically. He just wants to be an inspiration to the others.
That's how
Yes.
he became a jackalope. He wasn't sure if he wanted to be a deer or a rabbit, and he was like, well, I could be both.
It's how do you be a king? You have a crown. You wear a crown to be a king.
How
See, that's
about
what
you?
it is. That it's willpower is creation.
How about you? What was your favorite part about tonight?
My favorite part was probably just the interactions between all of the characters. The very high alligator, the very pretentious jackalope, and the very down on himself doggo.
I'll tell you, listening to the go with the flow alligator, I was like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that was
Oh my
amazing. I didn't see that one coming. That was a lot of fun.
This is weird. Why is there smoke coming out of its mouth?
It was just funny that we both decided to be very religious.
Right, in our own aspects.
Okay, so tonight.
I guess you guys just needed a straight man or a straight hair in this case, I guess.
Let's go
It
right
was just
tonight. TPK roleplay. What?
Have them. I knew I just wanted to pick
Are you talking to me?
a character, emotion. That's pretty much all I had. And then
Yeah.
then as soon as he was like, "You've been rejected," I was like, "Oh, I gotta play sad Eeyore."
I want to thank all our viewers for being here with us tonight. So even if we are missing some people, even if we had two that were MIA, we still game, because you know what? Gaming's fun. And whatever game table you're at, make it the best game possible. Happy gaming, friends, and God bless from all of us here at Plot Points. Say goodbye. We're off to go raid on
Nerd
TPK
Asylum.
roleplay tonight. What's that?
Oh, we got voted to raid the Nerd Asylum.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a vote. See,
I
nobody
think it's
told
already
me that.
happening.
Well, Doherty D&D just said I vote to raid the Nerd Asylum. I figured why not.
Oh, well, see,
And as your
Go for
imp, they have the 100% of the vote.
well, we are raiding the Nerd Asylum then, with 7 raiders. So, because one of our mods decided to put it in for me, so I had already set up something different. But now we're raiding Nerd Asylum. So hey, come along with us. Let's go do a raid. Make sure you shout out real loud, everybody. Give the love. We'll see you next week.
Ow.
Oh man.